Good morning to all. I am Dr. Santha Someswar Rao. Now I am going to explain one of the concept from machine learning called ROC curve. What is ROC? ROC is a receiver operator characteristic curve which is from digital signal processing. Uh, we can use these measures to evaluate a particular classifier. We can also compare classifiers. By using these ROC curves, we have to compare the classifiers. In the x-axis, we'll take the false positive rate. In the y-axis, we'll take the true positive rate. So we have to draw the graph for false positive rate versus true positive rate for compare the classifiers. For comparing the classifiers, either the same classifier with different learning parameters or completely different classifiers. This is not only for the different classifiers but also for the same classifiers with the different parameters for optimization. In this case, the receiver operator characteristic curve is useful, almost always known just as the ROC curve, is useful for comparing the two different classifiers are the same classifiers. This is a plot for percentage of true positives on the y-axis against false positives on the x-axis, which is shown in the figure. The single run of a classifier produces a single point on the ROC plot. If suppose the point is 0, 1, that means it is a perfect classifier. That means 100% true positives, 0% false positives. While the anti-classifier that got everything wrong would be at 1, 0. So the closer to the top left hand corner, top left hand corner, the result of a classifier is the better classifier has performed. Suppose the actual data is shown here. This is a good classifier. Otherwise, suppose if the classifier is 1, 0, it is a bad classifier. Any classifier that sits on the diagonal line from 0, this is the diagonal line, that is 0, 0 to 1, 1. 1, 1 means 100, 100. Here 1 is nothing but 100. 0 means 0. Behaves exactly at the chance level, assuming that the positive and the negative classes are equally common, and so presumably a lot of learning effort is wasted since a fair coin would do just as well. Okay, if the classifier is 0, 1, that is a good one. That means 0, here 0, 100%. True positive rate is 100%. That is called a good classifier. Other, and there is the 100. This is the 100, but 0 here. This is called a anti-classifier. This is about ROC curve, receiver operating characteristic curve. The one of the important point about the ROC curve is it is a curve which is drawn between the false positive rate versus true positive rate, which will be useful for comparing the two different classifiers, or with the same classifier with the different parameters, that is for optimization. This is about ROC curve. Now coming to the another concept called unbalanced data sets. This is what is unbalanced data set. What is balanced data set? We all know that data set. In the data set, in general, we have a target variable. In the target variable, both the classes. Suppose we will consider a binary class. Suppose yes and no. Yes is, suppose we will consider one data set. The data set has 100 instances. From that 100 instances, 50 is 50, 15, S number is 50, no number, so number of S are 50, number of no's are 50. So both S and no are same number, so that is called a balanced data set. If that both are not equal, suppose number of S are 20, number of no's are 80, so it is called imbalanced data set. The accuracy we have, coming to this particular explanation, this particular explanation, unbalanced data set. Unbalanced data set means number of in the target variable or target class, number of S are not equal to number of no's, or number of positives are not equal to number of negatives, like that. The number of positives are not equal to number of negative, that is called unbalanced data or data set or imbalanced data set. The accuracy we have implicitly assumed that there are same number of positives and negatives examples in the data, which is known as balanced data set. In the case where it is not, that means that number of positives and number of negatives are not equal, we can compute the balanced accuracy as the sum of sensitivity and the specificity divided by 2. However, more correct measure is Matthew's correlation coefficient, which is computed as, instead of that comparing that number or comparing this particular calculating sensitivity and specificity divided by 2, will calculate one coefficient called Matthew's correlation coefficient. By using this particular Matthew's correlation coefficient, will find the unbalanced data set. If any of the brackets in the denominator are 0, then the whole of the denominator is set to 1. Why? Because if the anything is divided by 0, that automatically infinity. So that if this particular thing is anything is 0, we automatically take as 1. This provides a balanced accuracy computation. This is about unbalanced data set. Once again, I have to explain what is unbalanced data set. If suppose we'll consider a data set, the data set in generally every data set which will use it for classification as a target variable. In the target variable, suppose that particular data set is a binary class, supports the binary class like positive and negative. If the number of positives equal to number of negative, that is called a balanced data set. If the number of equal to number of negatives, that is called imbalanced data set or unbalanced data set. Uh, Instead of calculating like that, we have another computation is called a sum of sensitivity plus specificity divided by, that is also called a that is another calculation. In generally, most of the people will use Matthew's correlation coefficient. For that Matthew's correlation coefficient, MCC will calculate true positive into true negative minus false positive into false negative by root over true positive plus false positive, true positive plus false negative, true negative plus false positive, true negative plus false negative. Based on this value, we'll calculate Matthew's correlation coefficient. This is in between 0 and 1. If the value is reaches to 1, that is called a balanced data set. If the value is 0, that is 0 in between the, we'll put a threshold in between the 0.0 to 0.5, that is called unbalanced data set. Now I am going to explain prior probability. What is prior probability? Prior probability in Bayesian statistical inference is the probability of an event before new data is collected. That is called a prior probability. It is a probability of an event before new data is collected. This is the best rational assessment of the probability of an outcome based on the current knowledge before an experiment is performed. Uh, it is an event will be revised, a new data or information becomes available. It will produce a more accurate measure of potential outcome. That revised probability becomes the posterior probability and is calculated using Bayes theorem. For example, three acres of land have the label ABC. 1 acre has reserves of oil below its surface, while the other two do not. The prior probability of oil being found on acre C is 1/3 or 0.333. But if a drilling test is conducted on acre B and the results indicate that no oil is present at the location, then the posterior probability of oil being found on acre A and C become 0.5, as each acre has one out of two chances. That is called a prior probability. Another is the conditional probability. Coming to the prior probability is the probability of an event before new data is collected. But coming to the conditional probability of an event B is the probability that the event will occur given the knowledge that an event A has already occurred. This is probability is written P probability of B divides A, that is the notation for probability of B given A. Probability of B given A. In the case where events A and B are independent, where event A has no effect on the probability of event B. The conditional probability of event B given event A is simply the probability of event B, that is probability of B. This is called conditional probability in the case where events A and B are independent, where event A has no effect on the probability of event B. The conditional probability of event B given event A is simply the probability of event B, that is P of B. If events A and B are not independent, then the probability of intersection of A and B is defined by P of A and B is equal to P of A into P of B divides A. From this definition, the conditional probability of P of B on A is easily obtained by the dividing by P of A. P of A and B by P of A. Bayes theorem. Bayes theorem is very common and fundamental theorem used in data mining and machine learning. P of A divides B is equal to P of A intersection B by P of B is equal to P of A into P of B divides A by P of B, where P of A is the prior probability of A occurring. P of A divides B is the conditional probability of A given that B occurs. P of B divides A, the conditional probability of B given that A occurs. P of B is equal to probability of B occurring. If we are interested in the probability of an event which we have prior observation, we call this the prior probability. We will deem this event A and its probability P of A. If there is a second event that affects P of A, which we will call event B, then we want to know that the probability of A is given B has occurred. In probability notation, this is posterior probability or revised probability. This is because it has occurred after the original event and the post in posterior. This is because it has occurred after the original event and the post in posterior. This is how Bayes theorem uniquely allows us to update our previous beliefs with new information. This is about this particular information about Bayes theorem. In general, Bayes theorem is equal to P of A into P of B divides A by P of B, where P of A is the prior probability, P of BA is the conditional probability of B given that A occurs. Thank you.